Brock Lesnar didn't just deliver another trademark beatdown, he delivered a statement. What happened to Bronson Reed on live television was no ordinary storyline. It was a carefully orchestrated act of corporate power, designed to crush a rising star who dared to question WWE's authority. Behind the suplexes and F5s lies a chilling reality. This wasn't wrestling, it was punishment. Reed's only crime was speaking up about fair treatment for talent, and WWE responded by unleashing their most feared enforcer. Sources say this was management's way of silencing dissent and terrifying the locker room into submission. By the time you understand the truth behind Lesnar's attack, you'll see why fans are demanding justice for Bronson Reed. The night wrestling crossed the line. What fans witnessed on WWE Raw wasn't just another Brock Lesnar rampage. It was something colder, something far more calculated. Bronson Reed, one of Australia's brightest exports and a powerhouse rising fast in the mid-card, was dismantled in front of millions. On the surface, it looked like a typical Lesnar showcase of destruction. But insiders are telling a different story, one that reveals just how ruthless WWE management can be when their authority is challenged. Was this really about wrestling? To the casual fan, Lesnar being Lesnar explains everything. He's the beast incarnate, the man built to break bodies and collect paychecks. But this assault didn't feel like a random display of dominance. It had structure, intention, and a disturbing level of finality. Sources backstage claim this was no accident. It was WWE using their most dangerous weapon to send a message to the locker room. Challenge management, and you'll pay the price. Bronson Reed's fatal mistake. What could Reed have done to provoke such a response? Reports suggest he raised uncomfortable questions during a recent talent meeting. Reed allegedly spoke up about fair pay distribution and how international talent, often showcased as exotic attractions, are undervalued compared to American stars. It was a bold, perhaps naive move. And in WWE's corporate world, boldness can be fatal to a career. Triple H's corporate hammer internal whispers claim Paul Triple H Levesque himself wanted to make an example. The solution? Give Lesnar the green light. Few wrestlers in history command the kind of legitimate fear Brock does. His background in MMA, his reputation for stiffness, and his aura of invincibility make him the perfect enforcer. If you want to silence dissent, you don't send a memo. You send Brock Lesnar. The beating that went too far, 17 minutes. That's how long Reed endured suplexes, F5s, and relentless punishment. At several points, officials seemed hesitant to intervene. The medical team's delay in rushing the ring only fueled speculation that WWE wanted the spectacle to last. For fans, it was shocking television. For wrestlers watching backstage, it was a chilling warning. The aftermath, no one saw hospital reports, confirm Reed sustained injuries that will keep him out of action for months. His push is effectively dead, his storylines erased overnight. Social media captured glimpses of Reed in genuine distress. Footage WWE quickly tried to bury. Lesnar, meanwhile, stood tall, rewarded with even more creative control, and reportedly a lucrative bonus for his performance. A climate of fear, backstage morale has taken a hit. Wrestlers who once spoke up about creative frustrations or working conditions are now silent. No one wants to be the next Bronson Reed. WWE has created a climate where fear outweighs ambition. Reed's passion for fairness cost him dearly, and his peers got the message loud and clear. Not the first, not the last veteran performers have spoken anonymously about similar incidents throughout WWE history. From quiet punishments to public humiliations, management has long used intimidation to keep talent in line. Reed's case, however, is particularly brutal because of its timing, right before contract negotiations. The symbolism is clear. Step out of line, and your career can be erased overnight. The international factor. Reed's Australian roots aren't irrelevant. International stars have often voiced concerns about being booked as stereotypes or overlooked in favor of homegrown talent. Reed's willingness to rally other non-American performers made him a bigger threat. Management, according to insiders, wanted to cut the head off the snake before a movement gained traction. Family in the crossfire. Perhaps the cruelest twist. Reed's family was reportedly in the arena, forced to watch their loved one endure one of the most lopsided beatdowns in recent WWE memory. For a company that sells itself as family entertainment, this raises ethical questions about how far they're willing to go to make an example. Damage control or cover-up? WWE's official narrative is predictable. Lesnar couldn't be controlled. Reed was simply a victim of his aggression, but leaked communications suggest otherwise. Reports indicate discussions weeks prior about disciplining Reed through storyline violence. Medical staff were allegedly briefed on what to expect, yet allowed the segment to unfold with little urgency. That transforms this from storyline chaos into something far more premeditated. The human cost Bronson Reed's battle isn't just about healing broken bones. It's about surviving the invisible scars left behind. The humiliation of being targeted so publicly cuts deeper than any physical injury. Insiders suggest WWE is more concerned with protecting its brand than supporting Reed's recovery, leaving him to wrestle with trauma on his own. His career wasn't derailed by failure in the ring, but by the ruthless machinery of politics. Now, Reed faces rebuilding both body and spirit against overwhelming odds. Fan outrage erupts. #Justice for Bronson trended worldwide as fans demanded accountability. Outrage poured in from international wrestling communities, particularly in Australia, where Reed is seen as a trailblazer. Independent promotions have already expressed interest in signing him once his WWE contract ends. Ironically, WWE's attempt to erase him may only amplify his star power elsewhere. Legal and financial fallout. Legal experts suggest Reed may have grounds for workplace safety claims. The line between scripted entertainment and legitimate workplace violence grows blurrier by the day. Financially, the timing couldn't be worse. His injury will cost him months of pay and opportunities, robbing him of momentum during a critical stage in his career. The bigger picture. What happened to Bronson Reed isn't an isolated storyline. It's a window into WWE's culture of control. Management thrives on fear, using stars like Lesnar as weapons to maintain order. Reed's destruction serves as a reminder that in WWE, talent may be celebrated on screen, but behind the curtain, they are disposable assets in a corporate machine. Where do we go from here? The wrestling world is left with uncomfortable questions. If WWE can use Brock Lesnar to crush dissent in such a public way, what hope is there for younger talent? How many more careers will be sacrificed at the altar of control? And when will fans demand not just better stories, but better treatment for the athletes who risk everything to entertain them? Conclusion: wrestling or corporate violence? Brock Lesnar delivered the suplexes, but it was WWE management pulling the strings. Bronson Reed's beating wasn't about storyline heat. It was about power. It was about silencing a voice that dared to question the system. In the process, WWE may have crossed a line that fans and wrestlers alike won't forget anytime soon.